And welcome back. You are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection. I am your host this morning, Ms. Morning Star, with my co-host, Mrs. Jack here on WKRA 92.7 The Change. We welcome you guys back in. We're going to pick up where we left off a little bit on a conversation, a little bit of some news you can use.
That
Um,
last news, we could use it.
I'm going to just say this. I have one
Mm.
feel good because that was funny. That was more funny. I want to slightly touch on this because this is going on in current events right now with P Diddy.
Mm, mm,
You
mm.
know, his trial started this week, and yesterday, Cassie, his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, testified about the violence that occurred to her, and and her being forced to be part of the freak off parties. And it went into grand detail, guys. I mean, it was very explicit and very heartbreaking to hear, just and very disturbing. Very disturbing. And I mean, nobody should have to ever endure this type of violence that this young lady had to endure for somebody that she was in love with. Domestic violence is real. And people are monsters. They may appear on the outside to be good, genuine people, but
Mm.
in the darkness, they are monsters. And that brother is, my opinion, is a monster and needs some help. I'm not going to say all the things that I read. You guys can go look it up. It was public information because it was transcripts from the court hearing, but they went into very graphic detail about her experiences. I pray that she's healing. She is a mother. She's a wife. You know, she's 8 months pregnant with her third child, and she's still a young lady. She's young. You know, this all started when she was at the mere age of 19 years old,
Mm, mm, mm.
but it went on for 10 years.
10 whole years. It's
So
just, it's a sad situation.
yeah.
And I want everybody to keep an open mind when you guys are like hearing parts of the transcript and hearing stories and things, and kind of get into the mindset of somebody that does deal with domestic violence. Because a lot of people say, why would she stay? Why hasn't she left? It's dangerous to leave. When you're in it, if you ask anybody that has dealt with or been a victim of an abuser, they will tell you it's not easy to just leave,
It's
So
very dangerous.
it's very scary. That's the most dangerous time. Actually, trying to leave is the most dangerous. So, just think about what she has to go through, and it's publicized and
Hmm.
everybody knows and everybody can read it. It's embarrassing as well. So just pray for the young
Please keep
lady.
her in your prayers because this is now really publicized even more. And she has small children, and the
Hmm.
internet is forever. So, you know, just keep those thoughts and go read it. Go read about Diddy.
Get yourself together before you try to read it. Now, don't
Go
be
read about
shocked
him. It's gonna
using
change
graphic
if
things.
whatever thoughts you might have, you know, said.
I'm glad you said that too, because most people think that he's a good person because he made music. We only get social media shows you maybe 5% or less of somebody's life because they pick and choose what they want to show you unless they get caught by paparazzi, right? Showing other pictures. But you think these people are good people. So when you go into that mindset, looking at these transcripts and you're going to change it, you will change it. And it's only day two or
A
today,
wolf.
day three.
Day three. That was day three, I believe. A wolf in sheep's clothing. That's all I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
say. And let's move on because
Mm-hmm.
that whole thing had me
It's
distracted.
depressing.
It was disturbing. It was very
Mm-hmm.
disturbing.
Disturbing is the way.
On another note, two twin brothers graduated together from Jackson State University, the largest HBC in Mississippi. Yay, Mississippi! And these brothers Christian and Christopher Mannery have graduated from Jackson State University, HBCU. The journey was deeply influenced by the memory of their late older brother, Devon, who had attended JSU before tragically passing away in 2016.
Mm, mm, mm.
So Christian and Christopher started at JSU in 2020 and driven by the promise to finish what their brother Devon couldn't. How sweet is that?
Oh, that is very sweet.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Devon was a physical education major and a member of the Sonic Boom of the South before he died in a car crash in 2016. How sad.
That is
So
very sad.
they paid tribute together for their big brother, and I think that was a feel good story. So we're gonna end on that
Yeah,
note because I think that was something to
that was positive.
kind of move us back into the positive realm.
Heartwarming. It's heartwarming. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Get us out of the funk of what's going on in these United States. So
Girl.
Miss Jag, tonight or this morning, I'm sorry, I always say tonight. This morning,
Hmm.
your topics are about mental health, right? Talking
Yes.
about okay.
It is
So
the stigma, mental health therapy stigma in the Black community, and why we have such a stigma, why it's kind of frowned upon in our community. And the crazy part is sometimes other people see it as normal. Like, oh, why don't you just go to therapy? Just go, in our
right.
community, it's not seen the same. So I'm going to talk about four of the reasons why it's not, seen the same and so welcome in our community. That's
Okay, okay. Cool.
alrighty.
Well,
So,
let's get into it. Because
okay,
I
number
know
one.
it is a
Oh, go ahead.
stigmata.
Go ahead.
No, no, no. I was gonna say it is a stigmata. A lot of people don't they fight against getting receiving therapy,
Hmm.
and they don't understand really the true meaning of good therapy and how it's very helpful. So go ahead. I'm gonna let you do
Exactly.
your thing.
Okay, so the first one is historical distrust. Black communities have historically faced misdiagnosis and exploitation within the medical system, which leads to a general distrust of healthcare professionals. So, because, we're generally not treated and seen as equal to others. For an example, Black women have it harder with maternity because they think we're stronger and we can just handle more pain. So if we're in pain, we have to be in 10 times more pain to get medication or whatever because they just see us as stronger. And so it leads to people not wanting to go to the doctor, not trusting the medical professionals, and then anybody that is associated with a medical professional, which a therapist is, we just have that distrust of any medical professional. And the opposite of that is that is one of the reasons why I advocate for therapy, because it is a neutral person, somebody that doesn't isn't supposed to judge you. It's not your family member. They don't have a prejudge about you, and they don't know you. So it's very open to go in. But when you already don't trust it, then you're not going to go. And so that's one of the reasons why our community just has an overall distrust of healthcare professionals, because we haven't been treated the best.
Right. And I think too, on top of that, people feel the pressure of being judged because
Mhm.
they decide to go to therapy, or that that people are going to think that they're crazy. And
Mhm.
that does not mean you're crazy because
Yes.
you're seeking therapy. Like you said, it's you're going to talk to a non-biased person, a person who has no biases towards you. They don't know anything about you, but you're going to provide them with the information that you want to provide them with,
Right.
and they're going to help you work through it. And But a lot, the stigmata is, oh, I ain't going to see no therapist. I ain't crazy. That
Shrink,
don't
ain't
mean
nothing
you
wrong with me.
crazy.
And that's one of the stigmas too, because we seem to think it's for the crazy, and I'm using air quotes, people, the crazy people
Mm-hmm.
need therapy. Not that therapy helps everybody. We just had
Everybody.
it always is you going to the shrink. They call it a shrink. That's a negative term to use. It's just looked at negatively, and in reality, it could help so many people if we just would, take some jobs even offer it now. I know my brother works for Amazon. They offer therapy as one of their like going to the nurse, you can go get therapy. They block out a section for you. So it's offered in a lot of people's medical insurance now. So I would say if you have the opportunity, please use it. Please utilize it. You it can't go wrong, you know, unless you just
CPS.
come in with a
Mm-hmm.
negative attitude. They're only there to help you. They can't even thrive if they can't help you. Then they feel like they haven't done their job. So
Yes, ma'am.
that's the first one, the historical distrust. All right, number two, you touched a little bit on number two already. Number
Okay.
two is fear of judgment.
Oh,
Um, Concerns about viewing mental health struggles as a sign of weakness or personal failure, being judged by family, friends, or community members can discourage individuals from seeking help. You hit on it because I'm not trying to be the person that's going to see. I'm not going to be the person that got to go see the crazy. I'm not crazy. Nothing is wrong with me. And people have that inside. There's nothing wrong with me. Why do I need to go to therapy? Therapy
mm-hmm.
is not just because something is wrong with you. People have marriage therapy. There's nothing wrong with them. They're trying to help, work on their marriage and see what can make it better. Um, there's therapy for eating issues, health issues,
Right.
mental issues, all of those things. But we don't want to see it as a sign of weakness. Weakness, especially for men, Black men,
Mm-hmm.
as a sign of weakness. Like if I can't fix my situation, no, I'm not about to go sit in front of some man or woman that's judging me to tell me that I'm so wrong. But a lot of people think it's just you're wrong. This is what you're doing wrong. And so you're not going to want to go because you think somebody's just going to talk down to you, and that's not it at all. So it's a fear of judgment, especially with your family and your friends. Family and friends can be some of the most critical sometimes. They
Mm-hmm.
judge you harder than anybody else. So when they're making you feel negative about it or judged about it, that's another reason that might stop you from going.
That is true. That is so true. Everything you're saying, because a lot of people build up insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
And with those built up insecurities, they're already putting up roadblocks to say or make excuses as to why they don't need to go or what is stopping them. And like you said, therapy is so broad. Like you can need therapy, like you said, for eating disorders or for maybe it could be a positive therapy session. Maybe
Yes.
it's something to, help you build some type of ambition or dream. And maybe you just need a little coaching through it. That's therapeutic.
Right.
There's
People,
all different types of therapy.
right.
And people put up roadblocks before they even educate themselves. So I would advise people to educate yourself on
It's
what
so
it
easy
is
to
before
talk
you say
yourself
no.
out of something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, before you say no, like you were about to say, it's easy to talk yourself out of it, right?
Really? I
Yeah.
know I can talk myself out of stuff, especially if I don't want to do it. I can have a
Child,
whole
listen.
conversation by myself in my head
I
and
am
wind up not going or doing it.
throw church finger up right here, y'all. Yes, I am guilty of talking myself out of stuff. Whether it's pie, I'd be like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. Mm-mm. I probably shouldn't do it, or coming up with every excuse in the book as to why.
I ain't got no money. I shouldn't be going nowhere. This is gonna save me money for good. Yes, and just like another commenter said in the chat, my husband and I went to communication therapy. It was so helpful. A lot of people need Communication therapy,
Yes.
couples therapy. People go to couples therapy before they get married just to get,
Yes.
you know, help in learning how to communicate when they do get married. So therapy is a good thing, and I hope we can, kind of do away with the stigma and try to get people more. Now I won't say pumped to go because who is pumped to go?
Well, we got to break down the walls. That's what it
Yeah,
is. We got to keep hammering at those walls and
yeah.
continue to educate people and
Keep offering, keep
make
suggesting.
people, yeah, give
Yeah,
them, make them feel comfortable. You know, the more you talk about it, and this is why we here for our plugs, because the more we can talk about these kind of topics, the more we can, build securities within our audience, within our YouTube audience as well.
right.
Just build, because this is part of the community. This is part of our community and things that we need. So
Our
these are topics that we need to discuss. Let's just talk about it.
Because for one thing, and that's one of the things I do love about our plugs. When we say we connect communities, where else are you going to hear things like this?
It's not a regular conversation that just comes
Not.
up, especially nowadays. Because what do you hear going on? This is why we need Mental Health Wednesday,
Mhm.
because it's you heard what we talked about in the opening with the news. It's a lot. People need therapy. We're gonna need even more
We're
now,
gonna need
y'all.
way more by the time we over these 4 years. We all gonna be in therapy. Them people gonna be making
four
money
years, we
left
we
over
did
right.
we did barely made it through these 4 months
4 months,
and to keep our sanity. Okay.
4 months feels like a year. It really feels like a year so already.
Yes, it does. It's
And
tough.
it's sad. And another thing for therapy is because of what's going on right now, it's taking a lot out of people. It's
Right.
taking a lot of your mental, it's taking a lot of your physical strength to keep dealing with, especially if you're being affected by anything that's being unemployed, people downsizing their jobs or losing benefits, anything that's going to affect you. You may need to go seek some therapy because of your mental health from that. I'm praying for
It's
everybody.
exhausting.
It
Go
is. It's
ahead, sis.
exhausting talking about it, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So number 3, lack of representation. The lack of Black therapists and counselors can make it difficult for individuals to find culturally competent and relatable professionals. And I mean, there's
That's
not
true.
a lot. And some people are only comfortable speaking with somebody that looks like them. And I can't fault them for that because if you
Yeah.
build up a distrust for other people, then you've built up that distrust for somebody the opposite that you may look at like you haven't lived my life. You don't even go through my struggles. There's no way I'm going to sit here and talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's
Relatable.
valid. Hmm.
You want to be able, like, even when it comes to our medical doctors, a lot of
Same.
us, we try to find people who look like us,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Because we feel comfortable that they may be able to understand whatever our medical situation is. And I
Hmm.
would only imagine looking for a therapist. I know when I went to therapy, I was looking, even though I did not end up with somebody who was like me. I had a great We had a great therapist that me
Hmm.
and my husband went to go see in the beginning of our marriage. We went and did couples counseling and whatnot, and it was
Hmm.
great. We had a great lady, but um, like I was personally now probably seek if I was to seek a therapist, I would be seeking someone who relatable to me.
Exactly. And I mean, it's only normal. It's one of those things where you're gonna have to step outside. You may even have to drive a little further. There may be some people closer that don't look like you, but you really want, just like finding a good doctor. You really want somebody that represents you, and there's a lack of it. So that's a reason that our community doesn't really, well, has a stigma for going to therapy.
And I know we got a lot of, people who have, people seeking that type of education, to be therapists. You
Mm.
know, we need
Do
y'all
it.
in the community for our
Do
plugs,
it.
because we need people to be able to reach out to you. If you're listening
Mhm.
out there, come on and sign up for our plugs. Go to ourplugs.com and sign up, because we need
We
there we
need
need people who have, private practices or work for maybe a practice that we can definitely connect our listeners to who might need that type of help.
Yep. Good.
Yes.
That's a
Let's
good one.
go ahead and take a quick break, sis.
Okay. Okay.
It's you are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection. I am your host, Ms. Morningstar. I'm here with Mrs. Jack this evening or morning, and we'll be back shortly after this quick break.
My name is Robin, and I'm out here helping Carter's Caring Hands, and I also work the food pantry with them. It's an excellent place where people can come get out some food. I was homeless, and I've gave myself to the Lord, and I'm out here helping anybody I can help. So if you need help or prayer, just stop by. We'll pray with you and help you out. In Jesus' name, God bless.
Yo, good morning, guys. I'm Don Marshall, aka Don Fu, CEO and owner of Bully Game Enterprises, also the owner of Nucci One Records. We'll be talking to you guys today, this morning, giving you a little bit more information about the company and what we do. We're into music, fitness, and fashion. We're going to talk about our single Blur today. Hopefully you guys like the song, and we're going to talk about some of the services that we provide here at Bully Game Enterprises. Can't wait to talk to you guys. See you soon.
Opa May Simplistic Beauty is hair care and skincare in a bottle. Take a quick survey and let us design your own formula. Go to ourplugs.com, look for Opa May Simplistic Beauty, and we can get your formula out to you as soon as possible. We hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.
All right, and we are back. You're listening to Morning Star with Our Plugs Community Connection. I got my co-host, my sister, Mrs. Jack, here with me this morning, and we are talking about mental health, the stigma in the community, why people are so resistant to that healthcare, particularly our people,
Mhm.
Why do we fight against going to get this needed necessity in our community? So Miss Jack was sharing. I think she's at number 4 now.
Yeah.
So
My
we're gonna
last one.
kick it over to her, and then we'll discuss it. So go ahead, Miss Jack.
All right. So the last one we kind of hit on it earlier. It's affordability. Access to mental health services can be limited due to high costs and lack of insurance. Some insurances do cover it, but if you don't have that type of insurance, it's not cheap. It's really not cheap. And there are a lot of free services, but the long wait times, it may be limited. When you have the money, then you can just go out and get quicker appointments. But when you don't have have the funds to get it, then that's a hindrance as well. So that was the last one. You know, it costs money. Everything costs money, and everything is high now. So of course, therapy is not going to be cheaper just because we're going through crisis. I feel like we're in a crisis, but you know, it's just one of the added costs that some people just don't have. You just don't
Yeah.
have for it when you're trying to pay for everything else. You don't have the money for it.
And that's why, guys, like right now, the things that we're experiencing here in the United States with healthcare, on the attack, a lot of people depend on Medicaid, Medicare, things like that in order to have some of these services provided to them. And our government right now is stripping about $880 million from Medicaid. And we know Medicaid is the social service program for the poor people, or for people who are unable to work, who they need medical insurance, right? Or poverty level people who need help and assistance.
I still can't get
Medicare is for
past.
our seniors, who don't work any longer, who need this care. So it's imperative that we get activated, and know what's going on because look, right now it's not getting no better.
I'm confused. I'm still confused on, like you said, they're trying to take money out of Medicaid and Medicare.
Hmm.
How are people supposed to function if that's like their
Well,
only medical insurance?
uh, that's not a care to them, unfortunately. And the
Really?
thing is, the reality of it is, they want us to, in reality, think, well, no, we're not going to do that. We wouldn't do that. But we know, if you know a little bit about politics and you know how the budgets are allocated and how money is being allocated within the government, you know that 880, I think it was $1 billion,
Billion.
or was part of, was basically the whole budget for
Mhm.
those particular programs. So to have that, type of number and just say, well, yeah, we're going to try to eliminate that amount of money. I mean, where are you getting it from? Because it's the commerce. I think, what is it? The commerce or whatnot is where, I can't think of it. It's a part where the budget, where the money actually is allocated to e-commerce for Medicaid. So they're taking money, that amount, and saying, "Oh, well, that's not necessarily stripping from Medicaid." Who you thought you ain't talking to? I was born. I wasn't born. I might have been born that night, but not
But
last
not
night.
last night.
You
Anything
know,
that they'd say now, you really have to just distrust,
you
because to
do.
say we're not taking anything from this, but then we have people that are Democrats that will actually say, "Hey, this is what they're sliding it into the middle of other bills. They're trying to
Right.
hide it so it doesn't. Nobody's going to come directly out and say, "Hey, we're slashing this much money from Medicare."
Right. Let me give you guys this good advice. So listening, our audience is great. One of our audience, T Wiz, says, call your local crisis line or dial 988. Many states have mobile outreach mental health clinics and counselors, as well as sliding scale therapy. So that's an option, because what we're touching on, as Ms. Jackson number 4, is it's expensive. Everybody can't afford it, and now people are going to be limited on what they have far as their Medicaid and their Medicaid.
A lot.
So I'm gonna repeat that: call your local crisis line or dial 988, where you can. She said many states have mobile outreach mental health clinics and counselors that can help you. Thank you, T Wiz, for that information, for sharing that with the audience.
988 usually will get you some kind of assistance.
Is
We're
that
so
like
used to
information?
remembering 911. 988
Yeah.
is like, they used to give, like, if you have a medical emergency that's not 911 related, call dial 988 or something like that. I think that's what they.
I never knew that. I always, information you call, what is it, 411, or you call,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
411 used to be it.
411 for information. Yeah. I'm telling people how old I am. Something like that.
I don't
411.
even, I'm not even gonna try to hide it no more, because I'll
I
say
don't
something and
care.
people be like, where you get that from?
Because we used to use it
We're
and it
so
helped.
used to. I said cheer wine the other day, and they were like, "Oh, that's wine." No, not wine, soda. Because I'm from North Carolina. She said 988 is for mental health crisis. So
Yes.
if you have a mental health crisis and you can't find any other help, dial 988. Somebody on that phone will help you. That's
Yes.
like the last resort.
That's good. That's
Yes.
good. We need that. We need any kind of social programs that could be of assistance to us, because again, the social programs are being stripped. People are losing their jobs. People are losing their health care. It's happening. I still
And
happening
it's
within.
stressful.
It is stressful, and it's still happening even within the government.
Mhm.
Um, we got our unions fighting for people's rights, and they're getting railroaded into
Mm-hmm.
uh possible terminations or people coming for their jobs. So we are in the fight of our lives at this moment.
I've never seen so much chaos. And
Yeah.
that's the perfect word for what we're going through is chaotic.
Hmm.
Anytime you have an administration that is actively trying to remove regulations and safety nets for everything, OSHA, this is occupational safety hazards to keep you safe at work.
Hmm.
And they're trying to remove these programs. And it's put in place for a reason. Like, why are we getting rid of things like that? The purpose of Doge was supposed to be finding fraud, waste, and abuse and saving money. But what have we saved? Where's the fraud, waste, and abuse by name, by company?
A lot of fluff, and
Yeah,
a
fluff is
lot
a good
of,
word.
because it's fluff,
Mm-hmm.
it's caused a lot of people to be hurt, lose their jobs, and lose their livelihood, their homes, their vehicles, just their regular. And just a few months ago, people were just living their life normal.
Fine.
If we could go back to
5 months ago,
20,
I
yeah,
bet you
5, 6 months ago, we weren't anticipating this.
all the people that did not vote, if we could go back 5 months ago, I bet you would get up and go vote. So
Oh
some of
yeah,
y'all are
but
to blame.
it's a lot of
Hmm. Some of y'all
it's a
are to
lot of
blame.
regret there. And
Hmm.
those people gonna need mental counseling. I mean, it's so many people that are going to depend on their mental health for the next few years to get them through. They're gonna need good mental health care.
And a lot of it.
Hmm.
Those people are going to be overworked for real. Just because of
We got to
the
get
trauma.
more people into the field.
We are building trauma right now for people. And it's sad because we see it happening in real time. It's not like one traumatic event. It's like something different every day. Something new, something stupid, something good. We have something good thrown in there. We get some feel good stories. That's why we have to give y'all some of those in the morning. Just to
Yeah,
counteract and cut some of the other stuff. My Lord.
I'm telling you, y'all, it is. But at the end of the day, again, we still, we still rise. We still continue to do our daily activities. We are still gonna try to bring positivity out
Mm-hmm.
into some darkness that we might see,
Have
and try to make light of our time. And that's why it's good to be, part of a community. I can't stress it enough,
to.
Miss Jack. I try to tell people this all the time when we do, when we're in TikTok world, because we are creators on TikTok, so
Mm-hmm.
we have those obligations where we are trying to pour this information into people so that they know there
Because they
are
don't.
resources out there.
Yeah, because they're not hearing it someplace. A lot of people don't listen to the regular news or watch the regular
Most
news.
people nowadays, the regular news is obsolete. I mean,
It's
in a lot of
depressing.
cases, more
Yeah.
more people are into independent news.
Mm-hmm. Social media.
Social media.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
it's
where they grasping it.
and some of that is suspect. But if you're only watching that, that's why we tell people look, try different sources of information.
Hmm.
Not Fox News. I mean,
That's not news. That's
that's
entertainment.
faux entertainment because they had to pay money and because their defense was we are an entertainment company. We are not actual news. So don't get all your news from somebody that said we ain't really news, okay? But I had an interesting story.
Oh, go ahead.
I went to McDonald's this morning and I got me some breakfast. And
Okay.
when the lady gave me my change, she's like, "We don't have pennies anymore. This is your change." I was like, oh, okay, thank you. So my news is there are no more pennies in certain places. So they're still charging and keeping certain amounts of change. Remember that he stopped the production of pennies last week or the week before that? Did you hear that story?
I did not hear that story, but I want to say I remember them talking about no more pennies.
And the crazy part is the prices should change then because
I want my penny.
I had it, I was
I
like,
might
and
sound
I
petty for
just,
saying
I was
that.
just like, okay, thank you, no problem, no worry about it. It's like 2 or 3 pennies, but
Yeah,
multiply that times however many people McDonald's get in there
millions of people. How much extra change are
paying
y'all
cash because I
keeping?
pay cash, and I usually don't pay cash because it's easier when it's a charge, and you could just charge the pennies, right? You charge $1.38,
She
but when
said we don't have no more.
she said we don't have pennies anymore, and I was like, oh, okay. She gave me the rest of the change because I had cash, which is rare. I usually don't have cash, but
So at this point, you say who gonna take the hit? Is it gonna be y'all or
the
me?
hit is
Because either
going
you
to
gonna over
be
give me my overage and change by a couple pennies, or you gonna
mhm.
keep a few of my pen. Like what? What is
So
going?
she kept it. I
Her
didn't get
her
the
drawer
overage
gonna be over
because
when
I
they
didn't
count
think
that
about
drawer.
and I didn't think about what you just said. I need to start. If
Uh
y'all out
huh.
there, if y'all go somewhere, right, and they don't have pennies, they need to give you the overage then. So if your bill is like 168 or you're due back 168 and they don't have the 3 pennies, they should give you
One
170, not
seventy.
165. That's not your fault that they don't
That
have you 3
how
cents.
you gonna short me
Can't
because
make me
y'all
less.
short? And
Right.
I get it. They might not. They might have a penny crisis going on,
Mhm.
which I don't. This is the insanity and
Yeah.
delusion
The weirdness. We're in the
that is
upside down.
taking place in the Decepticon house. Like, why are you taking pennies? Why? Just what? What?
Apparently, he don't like them. I guess he don't like seeing them, so he's gonna stop the production of pennies.
Miss Jack, don't tell me that. Is that on the
Google it.
article?
Google it somewhere. It's in there.
He don't like the way they look.
Google it. I don't know if that was a
Brown
real. I
penny.
don't know if that was a real reason. I was guessing on that, but
Now, allegedly, y'all. This is
allegedly,
allegedly.
mhm,
Now we into some allegedly
of
right now,
all
y'all. We
things,
gonna do a little bit of alleged.
yes,
So allegedly, he don't like the brown
it
pennies.
probably is. Not that he ever have probably change in his hand anytime, but
Mm-hmm.
pennies? Like, so what's going to happen to all the pennies that are already out there in the world? Are the banks just going to start keeping them? And then once they got them all, cash them in for, to whom? They're going to melt them down and make copper something because it's copper. Pennies are made out of copper. So maybe they'll melt them all down and build a statue or something. I don't know. But yeah, it made me think about it this morning. I was like, wait.
Well, I'm glad you shared that because that is interesting, and that sometimes that make you more. So when y'all getting y'all coffee this morning or whatever, your
Mhm.
tea, see if you're gonna get some change. But a lot of us
The
don't pay with
cash.
cash, but keep that in mind because that's something that you might want to kind of keep your eyes open to, because people could slip that right past you. They
You
could slip
gotta
that
be careful.
right past you. They really can.
There's actually people that are at work, and I seen this the other day. We have people that work that can't even count change. It was some children that can't count change. They were so used to the cash register telling them how much the change was. They had to do it manually and
Mm.
were confused.
Yeah, we gotta work on that department too, y'all. Make sure you learn how to count. It's
Please,
important.
you can't argue with somebody about their change.
So we gonna keep talking about some other articles and stuff. Because Miss Jack, unless
Okay.
you had anything else you wanted to share about the mental health sector,
No, but I did have another story. This was
okay.
published May 10th. Um, The measles outbreak surpassed 1,000 cases for the first time in 30 years.
Wow.
30
Wow.
years. And the reason for it is because now, since we have RFK Jr. in charge of Health and Human Services, there's been an uproar about vaccinations. And
Mm-hmm.
we have survived this long time getting measles vaccinated, MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella, or something like that, because it used to be a problem. But now that y'all have people scared of taking vaccines, people aren't vaccinating their kids. So now it's increasing in certain states. Is that not scary for the
It's
kids?
extremely scary.
Okay, I just want to know.
People are
That's
choosing to opt out of that. Getting vaccinated is unheard of. The kind of stuff that, I mean, we went through this whole thing with C-19. Where people were like, I don't know what they're giving us, and da 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 da. They ain't want to get the
right.
vaccine and whatnot. But I mean, we have been getting vaccines our entire life. I mean, since birth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the measles was one of those vaccines before you can even attend school. And
School.
it's
So,
babies that are being highly affected by this.
so are
I
they
mean,
getting homeschooled? Gotta
like,
be.
did that? I don't know whether I don't know what they, because I do have a child in school, but she's almost graduating, so
Mhm.
she got all her shots before she started
Right.
school. The shots that was necessary, and that MMR, I believe, was
MMR.
part of it.
Yeah.
So when did they stop?
Okay, girl, you can always opt out of it. But my thing is, like you said, if it's a school requirement, you're going to have to get it, or you're
You
going to
have to
have
get it,
to
or you can't go to
homeschool.
school,
And for an
right?
outbreak to surpass 1,000 cases, a
That's
thousand, that's children. It's not grown-ups getting measles, people. Understand that it is children. So kids are more susceptible to diseases anyway. So for one,
mm-hmm.
you now have to keep your child away from other kids
mm,
if
mm,
they hadn't
mm.
been vaccinated. There was even talk of measles parties. Like they wanted their kids, these crazy vaccine deniers want their kids
I
to
heard
play with
of
other
that.
kids to get sick so they
Yeah.
can build up their immune system. I'm like, what if somebody's child passed away because you trying to get them sick on purpose and their little body can't handle it? Like, y'all crazy.
Now,
That's crazy.
who sit here and come up with these crazy thoughts, right?
Those people, those people that came up, the ones that's not vaccinating their kids. There was a couple that didn't vaccinate their child and they passed away, and they were like, well, they still didn't regret not vaccinating their child, even though their child passed away from the disease. I was like,
Mm,
some people you just can't. I'm trying to
yeah.
see something else.
So let me talk about this. I know we talked about some news stuff, but I don't think we talked today about the plane, the Qatar luxury ship
I had that. Yes.
that's being donated
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
from
Qatar.
Qatar. They
I've been to Qatar.
are known to be terrorist supporters, right? Yeah,
Hamas. Yeah.
Hamas
Yeah. I'm
supporters. They want to donate a luxury jet to the president, who is all for accepting. He's like, what? What's the foul in this? They're going to give me a free plane.
got mad and said, I think I deleted. I'm gonna look through my phone.
It's called quick pro quo.
It's supposed to
It's
be.
something
It
not
was
right about it.
supposedly given to the Department of Defense, in my air quotes, people. Department of Defense is supposed to give. It's supposed to replace Air Force One, right? It's a Boeing jumbo jet, I believe. It's supposed
Yeah.
to replace
Mm-hmm.
Air Force One. First of all, no foreign country is supposed to replace Air Force One. You're supposed to fly on it freely as the president. I wouldn't trust nothing coming from another country period. Second of all, once he leaves office, it's supposed to be put in his museum. So how is it supposed to replace Air Force One if no other president can be on it? And when you leave, you get it yourself and put it in your museum.
Yeah. See,
Four
this
hundred
is the type of
million
stories
dollars.
that are fed to the American people that we gotta try to bring some light to for those who might have
Mm-hmm.
heard something and didn't get the full story. He's trying to make people believe that it will replace, the current jet that we have, and then like Miss Jack just said, he's saying it can go in this library. Well, if it goes in your library, nobody can use it. Then who's gonna have a plane? What next president will have a plane? Then it poses so many
Oh my God.
counterintelligent threats. Like
They
it's
could
gonna
bug
cost
the
them tax.
plane.
It's gonna cost taxpayers $400 million,
Or
$1 billion
you know what?
to upgrade the security features and functions.
I was about to
That's
say
us, the
it's a
taxpayers.
security risk. Why would
Yeah,
we put our United States president on a plane,
a foreign plane.
a foreign plane? All they would have to do is set something up to crash it, right? If they
Anything can
wanted to do
happen.
damage. And you think,
That's why I'm saying the type of security clearance it would have to go through will cost. So while everything is so diabolical with this administration, because while you're trying to eliminate waste and fraud,
but fly
you're
around on the,
you want the luxury high level plane, and then how irresponsible as a president of these United States for you to accept without even going through Congress who holds the purse. How disrespectful, because you're acting as if you're a king and you're over all branches of government and they have to answer to you, which is not so. It's equivalent all the way around.
Mhm.
And it's up to Congress if such a gift can be accepted.
It's got to go through Congress people. But I'm trying to find the post where um, he pretty much was mad about people trying
Oh,
to
he
keep
was so
him
he got
straight.
salty at a news reporter, honey. He let her know, or him. I didn't know. I heard him when they asked him. He was in the middle, right? He put his pen down. He said, "So what's the problem if I accept the plane? Is it wrong? I mean, I think it's a nice gesture."
Of
So
course he
guys,
do.
it was something else.
Of course he does. Okay, here it is. He said, and when I mean he, I mean POTUS. He says, so the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in
That's
a
a
very
lie. Lie number
public
one is not 40. Go ahead.
mhm,
I'm sorry.
in a very public and transparent transaction. Sir, that don't make it no better.
No.
So bothers the crooked Democrats. So everything he said before that is what bothered the crooked people. That they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Anybody can do that. The Dems are world class losers. MAGA. That is what our president wrote in defense of being given a $400 million plane that you lied and said was going to replace Air Force One temporarily because he knows that it's only going to be there as long as he is there in a transparent transaction, sir.
And he's
Right?
going to take that plane with him if he,
Mhm. Why have
decides
we
to
ever
leave.
had
We
this
know.
type of, I can't even call it dysfunction, this type of outright corruption on display and people still applauding it and supporting it?
No clue. I
Never.
don't never seen it in my lifetime, and a lot of our lifetimes. A lot of us are completely um, We flabbergasted. We just don't know.
Not in my whole 50 years have I ever seen such blatant corruption, because people that do it wind up in prison.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, I'm telling you, it's
It's
interesting. Y'all make sure y'all keep mental notes on the things we share with you all. Today we did a lot of news, which is cool, and we touched on some of these things that you might have missed. Hopefully, we a little more woke than we were when we started.
keep y'all ears to the ground.
Keep it to the ground. Miss Jack, we got about 2 more minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you do you got your last words that you wanna say
Yes.
to everyone this morning?
My last words are to my Black community, Black and brown community. Do not look at mental health or therapy as something negative. Use it as a positive. It can very well help you through many difficult situations. And please teach your children or other people around you that it is okay to say and admit that you need help.
Absolutely. And I just want to tell everyone thank you for tuning in this morning. We appreciate your support as always. WKRA, thank you for always bringing us on in the morning and letting us spread some light to the world, to the Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee area. Thank you to the YouTube chat. Our crew, we see y'all. Y'all always come through and show support and love. We appreciate you all. And you guys have been listening to Our Plugs, the community connection. I am Ms. Morningstar. This is Mrs. Jack, my co-host this morning. We want you all to have a wonderful and highly blessed day. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Thursday. We got a treat for y'all tomorrow, so make sure y'all tune in.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy
Have a
Hump
great one.
Day.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Kitty.
And Miss Morningstar.
We are here from Our Plugs, the Community Connection, and we will be your new morning host on WKRA 92.7 The Change.
Yes, we will be broadcasting Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
We'll also be streaming on YouTube at Our Plugs LLC.
Be sure to tune in.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Kitty.
And Miss Morningstar.
We are here from Our Plugs, the Community Connection.